it live. We'll do it live. What's going on, guys? You're going to have to keep me abreast of all the comments. Oh, hang on. I'm getting the comments coming up now.
How are you, mate? Good to see you. No intro. I thought we'd have an intro or something.
Nah, man. Intros to 1990s, bro.
Just straight into it, huh? No lube, as you like to say to me.
Did it just start? Rewind to see how far it rewinds. I just want to see.
I can't see anything. Man.
Yeah. No, it's live. So start sharing it to the groups. Here you go, guys.
Yeah, it's live now.
All right.
How many viewers we got? Oh, I can see it all on here. I'm such a retard.
Yeah.
But Jared, you been pumping iron today or what?
Not today. I had a couple of boys come up to do some wrestling, but I'm a bit sore today. Yeah, hurt my back.
Yeah?
I jumped on the mats and ripped my toenail off for like the fourth fucking time, man. So I'm taking it easy.
Shit.
Yeah. How are you, mate? How are you been?
Well, we'll get into it in a sec. We'll wait for some viewers to get on. I've been
like the beard.
man.
I like the beard.
Dude, this was all mustache, but the problem was you can't get scissors in prison. So all the hair just grew down and all the food got stuck in the. It was so annoying. It stabs you in the lips. I usually trim it, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't have any clippers, so I just shaved it.
Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah.
Where are we? Here we go.
Have you been sharing in Telegram, boys?
I am right now. I've just got a link. And there we go.
Yeah, I'm going grey, mate. I've been going grey for a long time.
That's all right.
Same as me old man. I get the 2 grey streaks. That's how it starts.
Your old man's always looked old.
He has. He was old when we were kids, and he's still old now.
Yeah, I bet he looks the same as he did when we were kids, though.
I'll send you a photo. He does.
Yeah.
Here we go. Viewers are coming on. All right, so we'll get into it. All right. So where do you want to start,
mate? How are you?
Good. I got released from prison this morning at 8:30 a.m. You go.
Oh, we weren't expecting you for days. It was a shock. We weren't everyone thought you were getting out next week.
My sentence was a calendar month, so it was meant to end on the 16th. I went in on the 17th. It was meant to end on the 16th, but I got 4 days off because of COVID. I should have got 7 days off or even 2 weeks off. I don't want to get into it. I've spent like 3 weeks arguing with guards and the prison about it, but you get for under COVID, when you go into, I'll start off. When you go to prison these days, you have to go into COVID isolation. So as a prisoner, Jared would know, definitely. As a prisoner, you need at least a half an hour to be outside of your cell in the sun.
Yeah.
A day, at least a half an hour. You usually at least get an hour, but you need at least for human rights and half an hour. Because of COVID, you're locked down 24/7. You only get out for 10-minute walk in the hallway after the 4th day. So for 2 weeks straight, for 14 days, you have to stay 24 hours locked down. Now, because of this, because it's a cruel and unusual punishment, you get COVID days, and they can be taken off your sentence. So Andy Nolch, for instance, he got like a couple of months off his sentence or a month. A lot of the guys who were doing, like, I think when it started, when COVID first hit, from what I heard in prison, a lot of the guys were on lockdown for 3 to 6 months at Port Phillip, 24 hours down. And they have cellmates, because usually people don't know, when you're in prison, you got a cellmate. And if you're locked down for 24 hours a day, when in normal prison, during the day, Jared, you told me yourself, you got to take a shit during the day while you're out of your cell. Because you don't want to take a shit right next to your cellmate. So you usually take a shit when you're outside. Yeah. So when they were in 24-hour lockdown at Port Phillip, they had to shit in front of each other for like 6 months.
Yeah. You get close.
So, Blair Cottrell just shared the stream. It's gone right up. So they get days. So sometimes you get 4 days for one. So in my case, they said, how many days do I want? I said, I want 1 for 1. That's fair. So if it's 1 for 1, I should have been out, and it takes 14 days to process. I should have been out on Tuesday this week, like in the last week. But because some shenanigans went on, which I'll get into, it's quite amazing, the story I've got to tell. You'd be quite shocked. But yeah, because of that, and because Andy Nolch was bragging on a video, I got this much off my sentence, and the media did an article saying, oh, look at all these prisoners getting off early. This is bullshit. Trust me, prisoners deserve to get out early on COVID lockdown. Trust me, if you're actually in it. Imagine it's like I tried to think of it, what it's like for real people. Imagine living in your bathroom with the door closed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks in your bathroom.
Yeah.
That's basically how big the cell is, except you've got like a little bed and a little TV. Do that for 2 weeks straight. And then tell me you don't deserve a day off your sentence. Yeah.
Yeah. And look, it's funny they didn't give you the time off though. Like you said, they're giving it to harsh, serious offenders, but they did classify you as a major offender when you went in.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't want to go on for too long about shit. That's like there's a lot of stuff I can tell that's kind of funny, I'm going to make sure I don't dog anyone in this video because a lot of shit went on in prison, which I won't repeat because these people are still in prison and it's illegal, some of the stuff. So I'll talk about just generic stuff of what the prison system done to us.
I was going to ask, mate, like just to start off, any funny stories just that you can say without really too much information? Anything really funny that stood out during your stay in prison?
So first off, I abandoned my appeal because the bail conditions were retarded. I couldn't post on social media. That would have lasted for upwards of 2 years. So it's either don't post on social media, it just would have fucked me. I couldn't tell my story. I thought a month in prison, I'll just do it. I saw Saul went in. I went, fuck it, I'll go in too. You know what I mean? And I abandoned my appeal. I told all you boys I was going to do it. I tried to keep it on the low. It got out there because someone got the wrong information and posted about it. But that's all right, Blair. I forgive you. He thought I meant I was half and half about going in, and he thought I went in, so I can say it now. But yeah. But anyway, I was out there. Doesn't matter. So I went in on 17th. I stayed at the county court for about 2 hours. Hey, don't get me wrong, guards are amazing. Like the guards are pretty fair. All right, all my shit is not really against the guards; it's more the system. So I go to the county court. I spent 2 hours in there. Then I went to the MAP, the Melbourne Assessment Prison. I got locked up for 3 to 4 days. I think it was 4 days by myself in a cell, just watching TV. Okay, nothing much. Oh, sorry, this is the funny story. So when I get in there's some dude who's kicking the fucking cell door for 3 days straight, screaming. And when I say 3 days straight, I mean 3 fucking days straight. Like there is I think he rested for 20 minutes and then went again for another 6 hours. It was like literally, and it was kind of funny. It was like, because you're so lonely in your cell, he eventually got moved, and I actually got a little depressed when he moved because it was like, it was my only friend. I was like, yeah, I did. He would just like scream out his cell, just crazy shit like and he'd go fuck, and he was bang, 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 fuck, and then he threatened to kill me when I went out my cell. Yeah,
I thought we were friends, man.
But it's not his fault. It's just because he's just got problems. I think this guy's got problems. He didn't know who I was or anything. He just fuck you, bitch. You know. And
it sounds like a crack withdrawal. It sounds like a heavy crack withdrawal. Yeah.
No, I think it's a heroin. I think it was on heroin.
But
when I come out my cell after the 4th day, you can walk in a little hallway. And Saul said it was like Guantanamo Bay, and it basically is. You're in a cell. When you come out, you're masked up, and you walked in a hallway for a brief 10 minutes. Okay, up and down like a retard. I just quit doing it. I just did 2 minutes. Like, okay, what am I doing? Just walking? I can't see nothing.
And they made you wear a mask.
Yeah, they make you wear a mask. Oh yeah. So I don't want to revert back too much, but when I first rocked up, they said you need a COVID test. They showed me all the areas. Have you been to this area in Epping? I said, yeah, I go there all the time. And then they said, oh, you need a COVID test. And I said, oh, a COVID test? Is this voluntary? They said, yes. I said, I don't want to. And they said, it was like someone, there's been a glitch in the system. I said, no, I don't want it. And so anyway, so I'm in my cell like 3 or 4 days. And then someone moved in next door to me. I'm in cell 7, yeah? Someone moved in next door to me, and I heard that they moved in. I didn't know anything about it. I go outside for my walk, and because I've got a loud voice, I'm talking to the guard, because I haven't spoken to anyone in 3 or 4 days. Like, yeah, I want my emergency management days. This, and I hear this, Erickson, through the door. I'm like, who are you? And then I'm not allowed to touch anything or anything. Yeah, I got fuck it, and I lifted up the curtain to look into the cell, and it's fucking Saul in there, man. He's wearing his grey shirt and shit. He's like, Erickson, fuck. He goes, hey, where are you? I go, I'm right next to you, bro. Like, this is insane. He's like, yeah, sick. And then the guard screamed at me, goes, fucking don't talk. And I'm like, all right, sorry. And I went, hey, Saul, you're trending on Twitter. And he goes, that's it, last chance, get in your cell. And then I wasn't let out for like 2 days and shit. I wasn't let to go out for my 10-minute walk. But then 3 days after that, so while you're doing this went on for 3 weeks for me, and I'll explain why. When you're doing this, you don't have any human interaction. And the only human interaction you have is some Indian guard opening your hatch. Have you got any towels? Yes, I got towels. You chuck your towels down. Bang, slams it in your face. No one treats you nice. So you talk about 2 weeks where, like, hey, bro, I just like kept on a happy face. Yeah, thank you. And they slammed the thing on your face, just treat you like shit the whole time. But I went, dude, I'm going to get my emergency management days. I'm going to get it early. So after I seen Saul spoke to me through the door. The next day he got told off. So we're like, we can't talk. Yeah. And we're like, I'm like, we can't talk to him and shit. And then, like, I think it took us 2 days to figure it out. You can talk to each other through the shower. There's a vent, and we can talk through the shower. So we just started chatting like every day. We come to the conclusion that the cells were probably bugged. So we only spoke about anything kosher, just generic stuff about the prison and shit.
No admissions at all.
No admissions. No, I told him straight up, don't make any admissions here. I don't know what's going on while we're together. It's a bit odd. I think there's a couple of reasons why. But anyway, we spoke together for multiple days. Saul's doing well. He's doing push-ups. I'm sitting around watching TV. He refused to watch it. Is my voice coming out all right on this? Or is there a delay?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know. So I was talking to Saul. He's doing all right. I go, Saul, watch TV. He goes, Neil, you're the devil. I'm not watching TV. And he refused to watch TV. He's just writing his book. Yeah, he's reading. He's only got the Bible and he's got a notepad. Because he got, when I went in, I knew I was going in, so I brought a bunch of books and put them in my bag, and I was prepared. I had clothes, everything. Because once you're in prison now, you can't get anything brought in because of COVID. You can't get books, you can't get clothes. You got whatever you got on your back. I don't want to stop too much. So Saul had a Bible and a pencil and a piece of notepad. He's writing a book, okay? And I tried to get him to watch TV. He wouldn't watch TV. I even lied to him and said there was a Hitler documentary on. He went to set it up, and I said, I'm trolling. He got shitty. But he's in good spirits, yeah? He's training. He wanted to see the sun, yeah? So after like 2 weeks, you get like, I'm just thinking if I've missed anything. During that time, there was 2 code blacks, which means 2 deaths. 2 people died at the map. There was a code aqua, which means there was an active COVID case. We were locked down for 2 days, which means we couldn't get any canteen or food and shit like that. And there was code reds all the time. The dude 3 cells up through. I don't know what code red is, but I know code blacks. What's code red, Jared?
As far as I can remember, code red
or something.
A serious injury. Yeah. So not quite a code black. Yeah.
And the code blacks are suicides.
And the deaths.
Code blacks are death. It could be stabbing or, but most likely suicide now.
There was like there was 3 attempted suicides on our unit. Like, it's very depressing for people. I'm all right. I'm a bit of an introvert. Like, I was pretty cool with it, man. Saul was cool with it. But some dudes, I don't know, they just couldn't take it. There was like a few suicide attempts. And then we spoke to the offender services. Okay, something's going on. Monica Schmidt's on the comments. So sorry to fuck up. Hang on. So we spoke to offender services. So I'm on the Zoom call. You get Zoom calls. Oh no, sorry. This is the funniest shit. So I get a Zoom call with a psychiatrist. So every 3 days, because you're in solitary confinement, you need to talk to a psychiatrist. So I just start debating this chick. Yeah, I'm like, she goes, "Have you been thinking about your crime and why you've been in here and not to do it again?" I said, "So what? You don't want me to practice my religion and you don't want me to talk in public?" She said, "What?" She goes, "What are you in here for?" I said, Muhammad's a false prophet in a public place. She said, that's free speech. I said, no, we don't have free speech. I'm in jail for that. And she's like, oh, okay, well, just, mate, this is a multicultural country now. And I said, my grandfather will be rolling in his grave. And she goes, I'm sure his grandfather was. And she goes, we have white privilege. I said, I have white privilege. I'm in fucking prison. Are you an idiot? And then I eventually go, yeah, whatever. And I gave the thing back to her. So she said I had white privilege when I'm in a prison cell. Then, Offender Services, I should have brought out a list. Offender Services contacted me and they said, Erickson, we're going to be placing you at Port Phillip Prison because you're a major offender. A major offender is like a terrorist or high profile or something. It's like isolation.
Yeah.
And we're going to be putting you in Port Phillip. I said, do you understand I'm here on a summary offence? I'm on a summary offence, which is equivalent to trespassing. And you're going to send me to the most dangerous prison in Victoria, which has the biggest population of Muslims, the same people who I've been for the last 6 years pissing off. And that's okay? You think that's not reckless or premeditated murder? And he said, oh, it's not up to me. It's up to the Assistant Commissioner of Prisons, Jenny Hoskin. I said, well, you better tell her that if I get killed in prison, my family are going to make a lot of money. You know that, yeah? And so he goes, look, we'll sort it out. A week later, we're told Saul's staying there till his bail hearing. And he's still negotiating where I'm going to go. So I'm 3 weeks into my sentence. I'm still in solitary confinement because I didn't do the COVID test. I did an extra week. Saul was allowed up for an hour up in a box upstairs. I went up there twice, and then they figured out I didn't do the test, so they brought me back down. And they said, you're going home on Tuesday. This was Tuesday that just passed. I go, sweet, I'm going home. I told the missus, I said, I'm coming home Tuesday. She said, okay, I'll wait by the phone and I'll call you. She goes, okay, cool. So because I got 4 days off and it worked out on the calendar, I would be out on Tuesday. And then the guy said, you're going back into solitary confinement. You're not, because you're going home on Tuesday. Like to make me like happy about it. I said, yeah, I'll do another week in solitary confinement as long as I'm going home on Tuesday. Tuesday comes. They're like, oh, Erickson, we're moving you. I go, where am I going? They go, you're going to Margate, medium security prison. And I'm going, okay. And I was like already pissed. The night before I went mental at them because they were sending me to Margate. I found it the night before, but I couldn't make any phone calls. So I went on a hunger strike for about 2 days. And then I realized, because my sentence got brought back to the 12th, my hunger strike would only last for 6 days. And I thought that no one's going to give a shit because I'll be out and I'll be eating. So yeah. I refused. I won't get too much into some other stuff, but yeah, they eventually moved me to Margate. So I'm on the bus to go to Margate. A couple of dudes jumped on from Port Phillip Prison. We're going to Margate, which is a prison in Geelong. It's the middle prison next to Barwon and another prison. And I'm getting there and I'm going to be in isolation because when I was leaving, the guard at the prison said to me, he was actually a top bloke. He said, oh, Dory, you're going into QU because you're high profile, like a major offender. You're going into quarantine unit, which means I'll spend the remainder of my week, 5 days, 5 days on Tuesday, in quarantine. So I'm like, sweet. So I'm not going to be in general population, yeah? Mainstream, you'd think. So I get to Margate, prison. Everyone's jumping off the buses from MRC. Some colourful dudes, man. I won't get into some of the shit they've done. But let's just say fucking some bad dudes will go into this prison. It's medium security, but fuck, there's some bad dudes there. So then they take me to the prison, Margate, and we get all our folders on the table. So I'm kind of like a bit nervous because if you go into protection, I wasn't going to protection. I was going to QU or quarantine because I can't go to protection either because there's Muslims in protection, yeah? I can't go anywhere, and this is the biggest problem. So they were going to put me in just isolation for the rest of the sentence. But I'm looking at their table, I'm thinking they're going to put me in like a protection unit, which is isolation, and they're going to see that and thinking, what's this guy done, But that didn't happen. And he's like, oh, you're going to Flinders. You're going to be with me. We're going to be across the road from each other, this other guy. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like mainstream. I didn't say anything. And I walk up and then I'm talking to the chick and all the guards were acting funny. I won't get into I told Jared and you guys a lot more, but I won't get into all that. But the guards were shaking every time they spoke to me. They were really shaking. And they were like, oh, hey, Erickson. Everyone knew me. All the guards knew me and they were shaking. And then they gave me my stuff and they took me to a unit. It's called Flinders Peak. I go to this unit. We're on lockdown when I come in. I go into the cell, and they're double-person cells. but they tell me you're going to be in a cell on your own. I'm like, okay, that's sweet, cool. The lockdown ends, I come out, fucking Muslims everywhere. Like full legit Muslims with these beards, tagged cunts, all right? And I'm still thinking I'm somewhere in the protection area. I don't know where I am. Yeah, I've never been to prison before. So I'm walking around, and I walk into the main area, and this dude comes up to me and goes, Erickson, what's going on? And I go, what's going on, man? He goes, oh, I've been following your shit for years. The Milo 5, the Bendigo 3 is going on and shit. He goes, oh, by the way, why the fuck are you in mainstream? And I'm like, oh, am I mainstream? And she goes, yeah, bro, you better watch out. And I'm like, what? And then I went into my cell, and they give you metal knives and shit. And there's like some bad... I'm going to skip a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff is like in-house shit, yeah? But anyway... I come to my cell at one point. There was a big fucking Muslim in my cell, standing over me for some, but it's not related to who I was. But yeah, they knew who I was pretty much within the first 6 hours. When I was walking up I was getting the tour. I was walking up. The Muslims were like full staring. They knew exactly who I was. And then I went in. I had a mate in there that I knew there. A couple of other dudes I knew. And basically, anyway, if you guys want to tune in, I've chimed in for 20 minutes. Is what
it's good. People want to know what happened. It's a good story, man. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. All right. Keep going. All right.
Keep going.
Hang on a second. Did you form any alliances like with some white blokes there, like bikies or something, or Aryan Brotherhood if they exist?
I think they put me.
Whatever.
I think. We've got a lot of supporters in there. Let's just say if Blair Cottrell goes in because he's a big unit and he's very recognisable. I'll get into some more about how some dudes support us. But in this prison, because it's a country prison, people go to this prison because they live in the area. So not a lot of Muslims live out Geelong way. But there are a big group of Muslims in there. I just got a text coming in. All right, so now let's get into it. What is the actual controversy here? So when I was in the MAP, Melbourne Assessment Prison, I was classified as a major offender and I was meant to be kept in isolation. Okay? It's for my protection and for the prison's protection as I'm a major offender. Now, when I got to Marganee, the guard said to me, what are you doing here? And I said, this is where you sent me. And they said, yeah, but you shouldn't be here. And I said, yeah, I know. And they said, like, they kept saying this over and over again. I'm like, yeah, I know. But when I started to see all the Muslims and all the gangs and shit, because when I left my cell, my unit, I had to walk through a gang of Muslims. And when I went in there, I'm not trying to act like a sick cunt and shit. But I was like, fuck, I was already angry about some other shit. I was just like, fuck it. I'm not going to back down to anyone. I'm just going to fucking, I've only got a month in there. I'm just going to like go hard. Yeah. Like, dude tried to push in front of me at line. I just said, fucking don't try it, cunt. Like, I just went right off. Like, and medium security is pretty funny because people whisper shit. They don't actually like say it out loud because you eventually get put up to maximum security if you keep fucking around. But I only had a month. I didn't give a shit. Like, fucking, what are you trying to do? Yeah. But every time I left my unit, I had to walk through a gang of Muslims. And I just went, fuck it. I just walked straight. I go, hey, here you going, bros? Here you go. I just like kept walking straight through them and shit like that. You could hear them when I walked past and shit. They weren't happy. There is racialized gangs in there. There's Asians, Africans, Muslims. They all stick together, man, 100%. But getting back to this, so every guard was saying, why are you here? And I'm like, I don't know. I think someone's trying to kill me. I think the assistant commissioner is trying to kill me. But I am not going to say I want to be moved. Yeah? This is where you've put me. That's fine. So when I first got there, I'm like, I need to call my missus. She thought I was getting released yesterday. Can I use the phone? And they said, yeah, tomorrow. The thing with prison is they always palm it off to the next guy or tomorrow or this. So I said, the next day, can I use the phone? Oh, yeah, I've sent an email. I'll come through later. In the afternoon. I still haven't got a call. It's 3 days. My missus was waiting by the phone.
Thinking that you're going to get out.
There must be something going on in the comment. Yeah. So I said, and I just went, you know what? Fuck, I'm going to start being a rude cunt, yeah? So I walk up to the guards. And the thing is about this unit is if something happens in this unit, it'll take 5 minutes for the SOG dudes to get down there. So all it takes is 3 minutes to get brain damage from a stomping. There's no protection in there whatsoever. Yeah. So when I went up there, I said, where's my fucking... I go, how come I can't use the phone? They go, you're allowed to use the phone. And I said, well, everyone else is using it. Why the fuck can't I? And they said, oh, well, we'll send an email off. I go, no, give me the fucking phone call and shit. I started to cause a scene and shit. Then the warden dude calls me in. We'll call him the warden. He's like the warden, yeah? He calls me into his office. I sit down. He's like, Erickson, why are you here? The governor or whatever his name is. Why are you here? Yeah. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you're not meant to be here, bro. You are not meant to be in this prison. Why are you here? I said, I don't know. Ask your boss. He goes, well, someone sent you here. And I said, well, I don't know. I don't know why I'm here in mainstream. I don't know why I'm around a bunch of Muslims. Like, I've been pissed them off for 6 years, yeah? And you're going to put me in
this
prison?
isn't the ideal place for me to be.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to complain. It is what it is, yeah? So I'm sitting there, and he says to me, about your phone. Some woman comes in, some guard, and she comes in and goes, Neil, you got to understand what it's like in prison. I go, I do understand what it's like, okay? She goes, this is your first time. I go, listen, if I'm asking you for something extra, I'll beg you for it, yeah? If I want extra time outside or something, I'll beg you for it. But I'm not going to beg you for something I'm entitled to, yeah? She goes, oh, you have no fucking idea. And she's going off her head, yeah? And we went on this argument. She says, oh, you are just arguing. And then she walked out. She goes, you better watch yourself if you keep going like this. Like, are you fucking threatening me and shit? She's like, fucking no. And she starts screaming. This is guards. They were so stressed that I was there. They were insane. So this guard said, Erickson, you shouldn't be here, okay? Stay by your fucking cell and lock your cell because you can lock your cell while you're in there. And I went, nah, I'm not locking it. Like, I mean, when I was in there, I locked it, but I still left. I go, nah, fuck it. I'm going to walk around this prison. I'm not, like, hiding like a rat, yeah? So I come out and, because the other thing that red lighted me was because I was the only person who had a single man cell. So that automatically red lighted me with a lot of prisoners. When I was getting my food, he's like, sure, because when you line it up to get your food, you say the number cell you are, and they give you 2 meals for each cell. So every time I said I'm in cell number 5, and I'd have to say 1 because the guard is behind ticking, and then I say 1, yeah, and then they give me 1, and that means what the fuck are you up to? Like, why are you in your own cell? Like something's up here.
Yeah.
So this happened. So we all know a few people. So I went up to see my mate to have a coffee with him. This is a guy I knew before politics. And he goes, Erickson, what are you here for? Like racism? And I said, yeah, pretty much. And he's like, yeah. He goes, do they know it's you yet? I go, yeah. I think everyone knows who I am by now. And what I'm saying that is because when you look around, people are staring at you. They go like, that's who. I'm like, I'm not famous, but every Muslim knows who I am. Most Muslims do. So he goes, oh,
jail's a very small place. Jail's a very small world. It doesn't take long for the word to get around. It's shocking. Like they would have known you were there before you were there.
Yeah. Chinese whispers. So then he goes, don't go near here. And I just went whenever I wanted, man, because I had a couple of mates that I went in on the bus with. I went and met them at their unit and walked around with them for a bit because you had to get out of your cell. I spent 3 weeks in isolation. I was over it, yeah. So
So they're letting you out they're letting you out into the yard too, not just the unit. Like the yards was open.
12 hours in the yard, and the yards were joined with 6 units or something.
Yeah, with the Muslims, man. With the Muslims, well, they're staring at you like a lot, like death stares and greasy looks, like to show you that they know who you are and going to attack you.
To be honest, although it looked like they wanted to kill me in their eyes, they weren't that bad. Unless they were plotting something, they're trying to act cool. But I think they knew who I was. It's medium security. I don't think they're going to risk fucking me up. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I felt, yeah? I was only in there for another couple of days. So I was like, I can live for a few days or survive this for a few more days. If I was in there for 6 months or 3 months, I'd be a bit more nervous, yeah? But they definitely knew who I was.
What happened with the whole supposed death threat that you got, apparently? There's a supposed death threat.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that. So, cool. To kind of
with situations like that, like because you're only doing a month, a lot of them older boys that have been there a long time, they will keep an eye out for blokes like you said, you have supporters, and the Aussies, them old blokes, they're quiet, but they hold a lot of weight. So if someone puts out the word not to touch you, you're only doing a month. That can be pretty powerful.
Well, that's it. I'm getting into that. I'm trying to do it in a timeline, but I went up because I'm getting out. Yeah, there's like 2 days left of my sentence, and I grabbed my bags. They send me up to the front. You got to go up to the front. I went with a couple of other guys who were getting out. One was getting out Sunday, tomorrow, and another one next week. There's this old bloke, and he walks up to me. He's coming with me. He goes, "Hey, Erickson, what's going on?" He shook my hand. And I go, I realized, you know who I am. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm a major supporter and shit. We've been watching you. We've been watching your back. I don't know how true that was, but that's what he said. When we went up there, he's like, nah, it's all right. We all know who you are. We've just been watching you. And I'm like, okay. Like, and then we left back from that area with our bags and shit. I come back down. I get my lunch. I'm sitting, I was sitting eating my lunch in my cell and on lockdown. Oh, not lockdown, muster. So everyone's at their prison doors waiting for the guards to come down and check, and they check if everyone's in their cell. And a guard runs down, and she's like distressed. All these guards were like crazy when they come and see me. She's like, Erickson, come. And this is weird during muster. And she grabs me and takes me to like, I don't know if it's called the warden, whoever it is, the general manager of the prison. I go to his office. He's eating his lunch, and there's 10 like SOG guards around him. He goes, sit here. I sit down. He's shaking when he's eating his food. He says, oh, no. See, you made me speed up a bit. So I had to go to my my meeting before I get out. So there's 2 guards in there. There's 2 prison guards or 2 prison warden type officials, suit guys. And they said, we've been laughing about why you're in here. What did you actually do? And I literally said, Muhammad was a false prophet in a public place. And they couldn't believe it. He goes, yeah, you did it in a mosque. I said, I didn't do it in a mosque. I did it in a public place. Then they're going, how did you get here? And I said, I don't know. I said, they wanted to send me to Port Phillip. I kicked up a stink. I didn't want to go to Port Phillip. And now I'm here. And then he says, I said, I think the assistant commissioner wants to kill me. He says, there's definitely someone with badges on their shoulders that wants you here. This is what I'm trying to get at. I missed that part. So they were already like amazed that I was in this section of the prison because of like, not just who I am, but the trouble I would cause by being there. Like, because you got to remember, it's not just about my safety; it's about the safety of the prison. So, if you've got a guy whose history is known at pissing off Muslims, and you got to put him in a prison in mainstream to piss off Muslims, you're gonna have a problem at the prison. Whether I'm dead or whatever, it doesn't matter. The prison's gonna have an issue. This is the issue, yeah. And this is what I found out later. Yeah. So then I left that, and then. As I just went to, we had muster. She called me and said, Erickson, come. So I come with her. I got in the office and the warden dude's eating his dinner shake. All these cunts were shake. On the file, it must say terrorist or something crazy, man, because they all thought I was like some maniac, yeah? And then I had all these 10 guards ready. I go, sit down. He goes, we're moving you. We're extracting you from your, this is yesterday at about 3 p.m. We're extracting you from your unit because there's been a threat against your life. And I said, was it Muslims? And he said, I can't say. And I said, there was no threat, was there? And he said, look, we want to keep it, I forget the word they use, an orderly prison. We want to keep it orderly, and you go into isolation. And I said, okay. And they handcuffed me, and they took me to isolation. I spent the night in isolation with my TV and my food, and woke up this morning, and they let me out. Why was I in mainstream prison?
Mate, like they said that someone with some badges on their shoulder, was behind that move. That's a scary thought in itself.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a discrepancy between what the higher ups want that sent you there and the people that have to manage the situation, which is the governor, as you said. I just understand how can there be that discrepancy. It's like one person doesn't think it's viable for you to be in that prison. Yet someone higher up who should have more knowledge and should be more intelligent is making the wrong decision. I don't understand how someone on the ground knows better than someone who's higher up. It's ridiculous.
I look, the problem is it's like a chess game for the prison system, yeah? They got dealt a shit sandwich, which was me, technically. They have to deal with it, yeah? This assistant commissioner, or whoever it was, with heaps of badges on their shoulders, decided to send me there. Now, my theory was, I said to them constantly, like, they want to kill me or they want to scare me. I'm easy. Oh, that's right. I'll go back to it. See, because I kind of jumped here. See, when I tell stories, I kind of go onto tangents. So when I had that meeting with the guy, he said, the 2 guys that were amazed that I was in there, the suit guys, they said, you do know there's a lot of Muslims in this prison, yeah? I said, yeah. I've seen him. He goes, you do know these cunts are dangerous? I said, yeah, I know. He said, then why are you here? I said, you tell me. Like, I don't just hop where I go. He goes, well, these cunts like will probably fuck you up and shit. And I said, well, it's God's will. If I die, I die. Like, my family will become rich. And when I said that, he got angry and shit. Like they just didn't know what to do. Like, because I didn't care.
Yeah.
He goes, stay by yourself.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, I'll stay by myself. But I didn't. I just walked around. Not that I was looking for trouble, but I'm not going to hide. If you put me here, that's fine. Put me here. And then if you're going to get me killed, because people don't understand how quick, Jared, you would know how quick, you don't even see it coming, man, when you're fucked up in jail.
No, not at all. You don't know. I said to you, like I said to you before, you don't know you're going to get stabbed until you're stabbed. Like it's that quick. It really is. And the jail changes. It gets an eerie vibe about it. So, I can imagine the atmosphere when you were there, because everybody would have felt the tension coming to the jail. They would have felt the nervousness of the screws. They would have seen the papers. I think I don't know if you want to mention it, but I think you said you had people sitting out your cell at one stage, sort of keeping an eye on your cells. Some of the white boys sort of keeping an eye out. So, there would have been a lot of
I think they placed me. I think they placed me with a lot of white guys that probably weren't fond of Muslims. I think they placed me in that section, like because outside my cell there was a TV area with couches.
Yeah.
And there was couches. So I'm getting text messages come through. There's couches and TVs up on the wall. Yeah, it's shaped like a V. Two identical units, like in the same unit. So there's a TV. So that couch area is always the same people, a crew that sits there that live near me. And the Muslims didn't seem to come down that area, except for that one Muslim who came into my cell, which I'll tell you the story, but I'm not going to tell you what it was about. But a Muslim came into my cell, nothing to do with who I am. I think he realized who I was when he was in there, or he might have known, but he was interested in something else.
And more jail politics.
So I'm looking at my door. I have my door locked, and there's like a thing. So when I've been in there fucking 30 minutes. I haven't even got my TV yet, yeah. And I'm in my room setting it up, and I see this fucking big head outside my window, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he lifts up the thing. It's that big Muslim with a big beard. And these are either Albanians or Turks, because they're kind of white.
Yeah. And
I let him in, and he walks in, this massive cunt. And he just like walks straight into the back of my cell and starts walking. And I'm looking at I'm getting scared, yeah? I start walking backwards. I'm looking at his pants, and I'm looking at his hands to see if he has a knife. And as soon as I realized he didn't have a knife, I was a bit more calm. He's like, no, relax. I need to talk to you. And then he goes, shut your cell door. So I shut the cell door, and we had a chat about something. But, it had nothing to do with me being an anti-Islam activist. That's why I'm a little bit pissed off with the prison, more than like Muslims.
Yeah. Well, it was the prisons that they tried to put you in the bad position with the Muslims. They were obviously expecting more of a reaction from them than they got. Not to say it out loud, but I think a lot of people expected more of a reaction. We, as your friends, I know your missus is probably the same. The thought of hearing you go into a prison with Muslims is fucking like, to us, that's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? That sounds like trouble. So, that's obviously what the authorities were expecting too.
Well, the other thing is very important. So when I was at the MAP at Melbourne Assessment Prison, my whole sentence was a month. And my idea, because I forget a lot of this because it's been a month and you forget. But I remember when I was there, my biggest agenda was I want to stay at the MAP. I want to stay here.
Yeah.
I've only got a month.
It's a nice jail.
Sentence. It's a nice prison. I felt safe there.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
And then I said, I just want to stay here for the remainder of my sentence. Now, I was at the MAP till Tuesday. So it was like 3 weeks exactly and 2 days. I got out Saturday today. So that's 4 days. Why didn't I just stay at the MAP?
Yeah.
So when I got to Marginite prison, they said to me, the other thing was, they were saying, dude, we've never had people come here for 4 days.
Nah,
why are you here for 4 days?
It used to be a long offenders prison, so you had to be doing a minimum of 18 months to get there. So they've changed that now, obviously, but it's generally been for long offenders. It's not for people doing a month.
Well, it's usually a few months. But, dude, I'm not doing a month. I'm doing 4 days.
Yeah.
I got sent there with 4 days left on my sentence.
Yeah.
So when I got there, they're like, why are you here for 4 days? And even the other, this is what was red light to me as well.
And the thing is, that's an hour and a half on transport out of Melbourne. That's a long drive. Like, that's transport money, that's manpower. That's costing them more money.
I heard a couple of theories. I was talking to a Samoan guy, yeah? He was with me because he was getting out in a couple of days. And he was amazed that I can't. But he goes, I reckon it's about money. He said they make a lot of fucking money transporting prisoners. So it's either they're trying to make money off me, but they would know who I was and the risk. Because you got to remember, I'm not trying to say that prison stops because of me, but putting me into a prison is going to cause an issue or potentially cause an issue. I believe when they brought me out of the cell, they weren't worried about Muslims doing anything to me. They probably were slightly. Though I think they were more worried about me upsetting them or getting a riot happening, like me bursting into when they're doing prayers and doing. They didn't know. I said I was going to behave in there. I'm not going to be retarded. But why send me there for 4 days and risk all that when I could have just stayed at the map for the next 4 days?
Yeah. Well, and not only that, like you're a very charismatic bloke. The risk of you radicalizing them in their eyes may have been substantial too. You could go in that jail and start rallying up the other boys, the other white boys, mate. They see you come in and they're like,
I don't even have to.
Yeah.
Your presence radicalizes people. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Just you being there.
I didn't even have to. I didn't even have to rev up anyone. So there was that point where that guy said, "We've been watching you and shit." Yeah. So we're in this room with another 3 prisoners. We've got to do our paperwork because we're getting out in a few days. I didn't even have to say anything. The dude goes, "You know who this is? This is Erickson, the dude like the anti-Islam activist." And he's like, "Oh, I never heard this guy. Didn't really hear." And he said he's here because he pissed off Muslims, etc. I'm just paraphrasing. This dude just starts ranting. I haven't even said anything. I'm just standing there. He's going, "Fuck these Muslims." He goes, "We can't have pork here anymore. These fucking cunts. Who do they think that?" Dude, everyone's radicalized in there already.
And all they need is a flame like you. Yeah, and you're a flame. You know what I mean? You come into it, some burning embers, and boom. There's a lot of potential there for that to happen. Which, fucking good, man. It's good that the Aussies see you and start to come together. That's what they need to do. It's good that they watched your back because that's something that our culture's lacking. So, to hear that you went in and you had boys watching your back, that makes me happy. Also, like with Tom, Tom's obviously, he'll probably be moved now. You were moved, so we assume Tom will be moved.
I think Tom's going to Melbourne Assessment Prison. Yeah, because originally they were sending him to Melbourne Assessment Prison.
Yeah, they're moving him to where, sorry?
Melbourne, it gets confusing. Melbourne Remand Centre, which is probably worse than Port Phillip.
Well, I was at the Remand Centre for 18 months once upon a time. It was, I didn't mind it, but that was a different time. But, but it's good to know. So you think Tom will be finding a lot of support in there?
Well, the good thing about Tom is because my activism has focused around pissing Muslims off, and I'm very out there about doing it.
Your activism is focused around pissing everybody off.
Basically, but Saul's a bit more. He's a bit of a thinker. He's a bit of a philosopher. He's a different style. More tactical. I don't think he's going to have a lot of enemies in there. I don't think he's going to have a problem with that. Like no Muslim's going to say, "Oh, that's Tom Saul who used to be in the UPF."
I'm just grabbing the charger.
All right, mate.
I was wondering what the demographics were.
So I don't think they're going to say demographics. Well, I wasn't
Aboriginals, Muslims.
Well, Geelong, because they usually place you where you live near. So Geelong's near like Shepparton, all them areas. So it was predominantly white, but there are gangs of Asians. I wouldn't say gangs, but there's a collective of Asians that hang together. It's a collective of Muslims, and there was a small handful of Afrikaners, and some Samoans and Maoris, but there was majority white people. Yeah,
like 78%.
It wasn't too bad, but I think, like
70-80% of
I think 65%, 70% white. I think. That's in Marganeet. But you got Barwon next door, which is a maximum security prison. That would be full of a lot of non-whites in that prison. Yeah, but I going back to Saul, I think he's going to be all right because what I found in prison for the little stint I done, fitness is prison's actually a positive if you actually do the right thing there. Like they're very positive on fitness, like they're fitness freaks. every dude's a tank. Like pretty much every second dude's a tank, either a tank or very fit. Saul was like training like mad in his cell. You know how he's looking fit too. He would love it there. And he would also love to have time to write his book and to read. I don't think Saul's going to have much issues in there. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to enjoy himself. You know?
Well, how's he holding up? When you spoke to him in the limited time you had with him, were his spirits high?
His spirits were high. We're both in good spirits. We're just excited. Like Saul was like 50-50. He's like, if I get bail, I get bail. I can write my book. Would I get out on bail? Or if I don't, I can just write in here and do my own thing. He wasn't too fast either way, which was kind of, fascinating. He didn't really care, but I felt kind of bad, like, because I only had a month, yeah? So, okay, good luck with your bail and shit. And he's like, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, which is good. It's positive if he really doesn't give a fuck.
Did you want to talk about
I actually think
that?
he doesn't.
Did you? I want to bring it up unless you want to. But what you're talking about the bail?
I spoke to Saul because there was a point where I was probably going to get out on Tuesday, the day before his bail hearing, and Saul told me specifically, don't say anything if you get out before the bail hearing. But then he said to me, if I fail on bail, go hard. Like that's what he said. So if you want to talk about that, talk about it. But this is not admissions that Saul made to me. There was no admissions. This is just public information. So go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mehdi. You want to talk about it?
What about Saul and about his bail application?
Yep. You watched it, didn't you?
Yeah. So on June 9th at around I think 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, Thomas Saul had his bail application hearing, and I thought I'd tune in, and it went for about 2 hours and a bit. And about 25 people on the online virtual stream, a couple of journalists, definitely Antifa, and also the prosecution and the informant whose name is Michael Taylor or Mick Taylor. And basically, from what I gathered, the prosecution, whose name is Cameron, I think the lawyer representing Victoria Police, and the informant for the case, Michael Taylor, they were hell-bent on trying to persuade the judge to refuse Tom's bail application. And they were basically saying that as Tom's notoriety increases with all the articles that are coming out against him, the extremism inquiry happening in Parliament, they referenced that. And they referenced a few other things that were happening with the far right in Australia. And they're basically saying that as that continues to increase, the more articles, etc., Tom will perceive that all that reported to be very unfair. If he's released from prison, that's the source of all the violence against him. All the violence he's committing, because he perceives that the media and the government are unfairly targeting him and reporting on his beliefs. And that's why he attacked the black guy, for example. That's why he attacked the people at the Cathedral Raiders, apparently. Well, this is all allegedly, obviously. I'm not saying he did it. But yeah, they're claiming that that's the reason why he's acting out, is because the media and the government and everyone is against him, and he can't handle that, basically, and he's lashing out at people.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was under the impression from inside that the Victorian Police were actually pushing to support his bail, that they're pretty happy with certain bail conditions, and they're fairly happy to agree with Saul that he should get bail. And that all changed. I was surprised, because that's what I knew when I left. I thought he's going to get bail. I left. I went to the other prison, watching TV. Channel 7 News, denied bail. Police did think he's a danger to society. That's not what I heard in the days prior to the bail hearing that the police said.
Something must have changed, because they dead set really had it in for him. And they mentioned the names. I'm not going to mention their names, obviously, but they mentioned the names of the people, the 6 or 7 complainants. But there's a suppression order on that, so we can't mention the names. And they were mentioning a lot of his stream. So the Blackboard stream, if you follow Thomas Saul on Telegram, he went on quite a few American nationalist streams. One of them was called Blackboard, and they were literally quoting what he said on some of those streams. And they basically were saying that they read a quote where he was like, I'm a political soldier for Adolf Hitler, something like that. I'm paraphrasing here, but they basically were referencing a lot of what he said on these streams, trying to prove that he's an extremist and that he can't be trusted. And they also said they're quite worried about NSN itself, and they were saying things like they're really worried about how they think that their people in NSN are being brainwashed to hate other races and cultures. And basically, they just wanted to paint a really negative picture about Thomas and the EAM and NSN, etc. And they did say that if the judge was to grant bail, that they definitely want to have association laws, or whatever you call them, non-association laws, where you can't associate with people, obviously, similar to what they tried with you, where you can't associate with people from the same movement. So even if Tom was to get, bail, he wouldn't be able to post anything political, and he wouldn't be able to.
He knew that. We spoke about that. We spoke about that at length, and he knew that was coming. So he was going to have I think he was going to just relax, write his book, and work on his cases. If he got out, he wasn't. From what he told me, he wasn't going to really be allowed to associate with anyone. But it is what it is. He should have got bail. And I say this because I know it sounds dramatic, but in a normal case, in his situation with no criminal record, the second set of charges were totally trumped up. We all know armed robbery, and I won't get into it, but it's insane, that whole case. That's all trumped up. He has no criminal record. If he was a normal dude, Jared, he would have got bail. He would have been on strict ass conditions, but he would have got bail. It's only because of who he is.
Yeah. 100%. There's lots of different bail conditions, signing in and stuff like that. They're obviously trying to keep him silent. Even though they would have managed to keep him silent on the outside, just his presence is enough to inspire a lot of people. So Tom's a different kettle of fish at the moment. He's massive. He's absolutely massive. He's spreading a message all across the world, and that scares them.
One thing that's interesting that they mentioned.
Well,
go for it.
I'm just going to reiterate that he is a class as a major offender in prison. He's going to be on 23-hour lockdown. That was already. I think that was already discussed prior. So he's going to be doing it rough in that aspect. He's not going to be. Yeah. I think, Jared, you can get out of 23-1 after a while, can't you? Like, it's just a test to see how you go or how you're behaving, and then they'll put you into mainstream.
You obviously know Nutter quite well, Neil. Nutter done 18 months in solitary confinement after the remand centre arrives. So, he 18 months straight in solitary confinement. So, and to be honest, that changed him. He'll tell you that himself. He's back in jail now for the riots. Ridiculous. They let him out for a little while, charged him for instigating the riots, and, kept him in lockdown for... Actually, I lie. It was 15 months. I think 15 months in total. But that was straight lockdown at Port Phillip, and that definitely changed him, man. Yeah, he's a different person after that. That's a long time by himself. But I think Tom's mentally strong enough to.
Tom's a cool cat, man. He was cool.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if this is lagging or what, but. He was a cool cat, man. He was just training, riding, like he wasn't really fussed. No TV, fuck it. I'll just read the Bible and do my book. And
I think Tom knew that
he just seemed too cool.
Yeah, he knew it was coming, I think, in one way or the other. I think he knew the government was out for him, and he had prepared himself mentally for it. We see them last couple videos of him. He'd shaved his head and stuff like that. So he sort of might have had an inkling, that something bad was coming his way. And I think he's mentally prepared. I'm just interested to see this book that he writes. So I think, if anyone can take National Socialism or them concepts into the 21st century and make it relevant for today, that's the man to do it. So, putting him in a cell may not have, even though it's,
I won't get into too much. I won't get too much about his content of his book, but you would really like what he's writing. It's kind of
Did he
what
tell you? He told you what it was on?
thinking about. Yeah, he told me. But but it sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to see. I don't know. Someone's lagging in this stream. I don't know who it is. Is it me? Am I lagging?
You are a bit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm not lagging. My wife's cameras on her phone's all fucking fogged up, so that's no good. But we'll get that. Yeah, it's funny, and I asked you earlier, but you didn't see Nick Patterson in prison either, because he's at the map too now.
That's what I seen him on the news. Seen him with his cut head, sitting down. I think he was sitting down. I didn't know he was a guest at the assessment hotel. I didn't know that.
Guest of Her Majesty. It's they're definitely going hard at the moment for anybody that sort of stands against them. You know, but fucking it's now that you're out, I think that putting you in that woke a lot of people up to the fucking folly. That's all, that might be why they hoped something happened to you, because they know that you're going to get out and you're going to be loud, and you're going to expose the bullshit that went on, the bullshit that's going on with Tom, all these sort of things. They know that you're dangerous on the outside.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of amazing how the guards, they all, what is it called? I forget the word. They all felt bad for me for being in there. They knew what I'd done, and they knew it was bullshit. They treated me very nice, although at some points I was a bit of an asshole, but, due to current circumstances. But I apologise to a few of them. Yeah. But look, at the end of the day, the guards...
they're not all bad. You're trying to get one over them a lot of the time. Like, it's a game that goes on between them, but there's also mutual respect. They're different than the police. They spend a lot of time there, and they get to know people pretty well. So, I'm sure you definitely would have, got a lot of sympathy from them for your situation.
Exactly. I just want to say before we get off, thanks to the guys in prison. You know who you are, watching my back and shit, coming up and showing some respect, and because these guys, man, they're like, it really humbles you going to jail, really humbles you, and it shows you what's important, because
teaches you
it's
patience
good,
too.
but it really makes you think. Some of these guys are doing years, man. Fuck, man. Like, I couldn't imagine doing years in there. I really couldn't. Like, I could do it, but I really, it makes you feel sorry for some of these dudes. And like, obviously, some of them are real crooks, but...
And some of them are just fucking dumb.
And also, thanks to old mate out there who's watching the video, gave me the best piece of advice before I went in. Lock my fucking cell door. Lock my cell door. And don't call anyone boss in prison either. I learned that
what happened? Yeah, what happened? Yeah, what happened? I should have given you a few.
Tell this, it doesn't matter.
I should have given you a few words not to say.
Someone did tell me this.
Yeah.
The guy who told me to lock my door told me this as well, but I forgot. Yeah. So the guards already told, because I called the guards mate, and the guards go, "Don't call me mate, call me boss."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right." So I was getting them mixed up. Yeah. So there was this,
but they at least gave you a warning. They were nice about it. They told.
Yeah, but there was this like bad motherfucker who lived across from me, man. He's an institutionalized dude, and he was bad. And I had to use the boiling water for my tea, and it was a dude already using one of the kitchens, and he was on the other kitchen. And I walked past him just quickly, and I went, "Hey, boss, can I just use the boiling water?" He goes, "What the fuck did you call me, cuss?" And he had a fucking knife in his. I go, bro, it's my first time in, man. I apologize. He goes, "Don't fucking say that ever again." And then I learned a valuable lesson. I will never say that again. But another thing is, people are very polite in prison. It's surprising, people are very polite.
Well, that goes back to what we were saying before. People get stabbed very quick, so you need to be polite. You need to watch your P's and Q's. Everyone thinks the jail's really rough, and there's not a whole lot of trouble in jail. But when it happens quickly. You know, the whole jail goes in lockdown. People get pissed off. So you know, there's not a whole lot of trouble a lot. But if you disrespect somebody, you pay for it quick. So manners are very fucking. You know, there's a lot of etiquette in jail.
Yeah. Well, the news
and you see some funny shit in there, man.
Yeah, well, your whole story went international. Even some big figures outside of Australia were commenting on the fact that you went to prison wrongfully.
This whole podcast will go international. This is it's major news. What they're doing here is a fucking crime, and Neil's just he's just been the victim of their crime. Man, like anybody who knows you, and anybody who doesn't in this country. Mad respect, bro. Like you told them to fucking shove their order up their ass because they tried to silence you. You wouldn't have it. You went to jail. You wouldn't take protection. You walked in mainstream. You're a man, bro. Like respect. You know what I mean? Me and you'll be friends for a long time, but I respect you a lot.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
well, that's it. They gave me a way out a couple of times. They said to me, "Are you safe?" Yes, I'm safe. Has anyone threatened you? No, actually, no one threatened me. That doesn't mean that someone wasn't waiting to knife me, but no one threatened me.
They don't threaten you before they knife you.
I want to get this out. True. They don't give you a warning. But I want to get this out here, and I want you to listen to this, Matty. This is very important, okay? The Muslims did not put me in jail. A Jewish magistrate did. Okay?
Yeah.
The Muslims did not put me in jail. A Jewish magistrate did.
Yeah, 100%. That was the first thing. As soon as I heard the name, I said, "That's a fucking Jew." Like, and given your history with Jews, Muslims aren't the only people you've pissed off. You managed to piss off some Jews in your time, so that in itself was true. That was a fucking red light from the start.
At the end of the day, mate, like you didn't give what the government wanted. They wanted you to not have any relationship with, nationalists, and they wanted to shut you down. You can't post. But look at us now. For 3 weeks of whatever, all right? But at least you can post now whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. And I think that they were caught off guard, the government, because they thought that you would take the bail and, whatever. But you didn't. And basically, you're basically free now, and you can say whatever the hell you want, which is great.
Well, they're learning that there's a whole heap of people that will not be silenced, man. Neil will not be silenced. Tom will not be silenced. People are waking up.
No, thing is, mate, like,
Jews haven't been this scared since 1933.
Thanks for all the super chats, guys.
Yeah, Ben, AJK.
Thanks for all the super chats, guys. I'm seeing them all. I'm lagging hard, so I'm trying to wrap this up a little bit. I wanted to get into why the corrections order and why I denied it and chose to get a fine or prison. But because we're lagging a lot, I might cut it soon. But at the end of the day, they wanted me to wear an electronic ankle bracelet, okay, for a summary offense that is equivalent to trespassing. They wanted me to wear an ankle bracelet. They wanted me to undergo 2 counter-terrorism programs, de-radicalization programs or re-education programs. They wanted me to not be able to associate with anyone who holds nationalist ideals. They also wanted me to have a ban on social media posting. Now, sorry, 1 month is easier. And to the media out there, Herald Sun, who are fucking cocksuckers, who keep trying to rip at me, I swear Herald Sun hate my guts. I never said jail was easy or prison was easy. I said it was easier than the corrections order they were trying to give me. Okay? The media are the biggest fucking problem in the West. Biggest problem. And we need to forget about a lot of shit that we're wasting our time on and focus on the fucking media, the court systems, the government, but mainly the fucking media, man. These people have degraded our society more than anyone. And it's not an African who owns Channel 9. And it's not a fucking Muslim. We know who it is.
Yeah.
I want to say this was on a serious note. Because I love history, and I know what my whole channel back in the day was about Australian history and culture. And I've studied Eureka like you wouldn't imagine. I've written essays about it, and I even did my part of my degree at university was to do like a 10,000 word, thesis on something. I did it on Eureka and what happened. So I'm quite well versed in what the men at Eureka stood for, what they died for, what they fought for. And I can say with absolute confidence that with your actions of taking the prison time and not allowing the government to take away your rights and your freedom to associate, you honoured their sacrifice, So, for what it's worth, kudos to you, Neil, because you actually, you channeled the spirit of Eureka and you said, fuck this, I'm not going to accept anyone telling me who I can associate with or what I can post online. So good stuff.
Respect.
No, thanks, Stefan. Look, thanks, man. But I've always been determined, and I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid. Yeah, I do get fear from certain things, but it's the key is not to show it. Yeah, and the other thing is going back onto what you said when they said to me, dude, there's a lot of Muslims here, you can get fucked up. I said exactly, and I quote, I said, I'll be on the paperwork at the corrections. I said, my grandfather fought on the beaches for this country and his brothers. I said, me walking around this prison is nothing. What, are we just going to let it go? No, sorry.
Yeah. Well, and that sends a message. That sends a message to them. Yeah, they know now. They know that. You won't back down. It's good. It's good. It's what we need.
I'm a bit confused. I mentioned before that you were Newsman International and the fact that you went to Prison International, but I'm still trying to reconcile the whole thing with the St Kilda rally when we went against African crime and also when we crashed the African festival. I'm just surprised why even the Africans, were supporting it. There was a video made in Africa from a famous man called Man Tyrone. I'm just surprised that given your history with Africans, so to speak, why they would support you. So do you want to, I'll try to share the video to see if we can watch it.
I haven't seen it yet. Can you show me? I haven't. I just got out of jail. I haven't seen it.
I'll try to share it, see if we can do it.
I didn't think Mehdi was going to make it through without you, Neil. It was a month of trying to consolidate him every day. Neil's going to be fine. Neil's going to be fine. He was stressed, man.
Okay. How do we do this? Trying to do it.
I want to see this video.
All right, can you see it? It says sharing.
Click the audio and video. You're going to click the audio, I think, to play it.
I did. Share screen.
Share screen.
That's what I'm doing. Share screen. That's what I'm doing.
Oh, fuck. Is this Mehdi? I thought this was Reg the whole time. You're doing it wrong, bro. Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Mehdi. You're putting a damper on the show.
Apologies, guys, but I thought it would work. Is it working now?
Well, my fridge
I
is making
tried
ice,
that.
though.
I don't know if that's going to help. Well, you really killed the mood there, Mehdi. I can't hear nothing.
Let me try you one sec. Share screen. Window. Chrome tab. Here we go. Actually, I think I'll up and do it. Hang on. Bear with me. All right. Is it working?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No, Mehdi.
Oh, damn it. Well, how about you just post it on your YouTube channel?
Look, I'll check that. Yeah, I will. I did actually watch it. Thanks, guys, for putting in money for that. That was fucking funny as fuck. I'll check it. I did watch it. It's a fucking laugh. But, hey, thanks for that. I appreciate that video. I'll put it up. Thanks, Jared, for jumping on, mate. What's going on with
Anytime,
you?
brother. You know that. Just happy to see you home safe, man.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. You going on some show at 4 a.m., are you?
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I still haven't worked out what time that is here, but I think it's 10 o'clock. You know what time that is, Mehdi? 9 a.m. Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
4 p.m., 4 a.m. Australian time.
4 a.m. Australian time.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm on a podcast at 4 a.m. Australian time with Hammer. So that should be fun.
Because I know when 9/11 happened at 8:50 a.m. and that came up on the TV screen at 12 a.m. I remember that. I always remember that. So about 1 a.m. is usually about 9 a.m. in America. Yeah.
So what
someone said 11 a.m.
Yeah. All right, that's not great, but oh well. Yeah, I'll check. I'll work it out. I'll try not to be late, but yeah, it'll be right.
Hey, but before we go, man,
lucky it's a Sunday.
I wish Saul the best. I just got out. I only done a month, so relax.
Yeah, 100%.
Saul's going to be doing a long stint. He's going to be doing at least a year, even if he pleads guilty. So, all thoughts and prayers for Saul. If you need his prison number, go to Telegram, go to the XYZ chat or Saul's chat. I've got his prison number. You can send him emails. Go to emailaprisoner.com.au. And I'll try and it's hard to hang on. Should I say his prison number publicly? Can you do that?
I think I don't know if you. I think you can.
Yeah, I think it's been shared on the NSN page and on Tom Saul's page. I'm pretty sure that they've shared it out. So I don't think there's a problem with sharing it again. Yeah.
Hey, Mehdi, play the video on your phone. Someone said.
All right, hang on. What I'll do is
film. Said play it on your phone.
I've got it on the iPad, so it's got a bigger screen. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, and by the way, while you're doing that, Mehdi, Saul isn't getting physical mail because of COVID. You can't send anything to him. Nothing can come in. Books, no clothes, no mail. Do emailaprisoner.com.au and you sign up. It takes 3 days. If you're a known nationalist and you think you might set off some red flags because you might not even be able to contact him, I don't know, maybe your missus wants to talk to him or your cousin, okay? Yeah, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, so this just quickly, this video that you're about to watch became international and also I've uploaded it on my channel, Zorba Dundee, and Neil Erickson will be uploading it by tomorrow. So make sure you watch it on Neil Erickson in full HD as well. All right.
Pictured Neil Erickson did nothing wrong at Federation Square. Neil Erickson is innocent. Victoria Police can suck his balls. Neil Erickson for Australian Prime Minister. Australia for Australians. Vote Fraser Annie. Vote Fraser Annie. Australia Day is January 26th. Base 51.
So that was the best $150 I ever spent. So it's all those who donated, you know who you are. So thanks a lot. That was good. Definitely worth it. Oh, God. Where'd Daz go?
Oh, that's funny. Jared's trying to come back. Hey, dude, I could have shared the video. I just looked invite a guest. I could have put in that video. Fuck. I'm trying to put it back in. Oh, there we go. Add to show.
There we go.
Yeah. Share it again. Share it again if you want. It's hilarious.
All right. I don't know which one to share. Hang on. All right, I'll share the first one. Nah, it's not working. Oh, hang on.
Erickson did nothing wrong at Federation Square.
There we go. I'm doing all this
Neil
off my
Erickson
phone, guys, too, by the way.
is innocent. Victoria Police
can suck his balls. Neil Erickson for Australian Prime Minister. Australia for Australians. Vote Fraser Anning. Vote Fraser Anning. Australia Day is January 26. Based 51.
Alrighty.
Hey, let's play it again. Hang on. How do you play it again?
We've got to play 51 times yet. So we're going to be here till what? 10:30?
Hang on. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I said in my post, my letter. They don't know where to put me and Saul or any high-profile neo-Nazis now. So they're just going to make a new unit, and they're going to call the unit Unit 51. Hang on.
Hopefully they don't lock up any more
Erickson did nothing wrong at Federation Square. Neil Erickson is innocent. Victoria Police can suck his balls. Neil Erickson for Australian Prime Minister. Australia for Australians. Vote Fraser Anning. Vote Fraser Anning. Australia Day is January 26. Based 51.
Oh, done. Fucking hell. That's just classic. So that's the Victoria Police. If you're watching, which we know you're watching anyway, so that's for you guys right there, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, so in terms of everything else, Neil, gonna be relaxing, you know, for a bit after what you've been through, so
Is he there?
can
Still there, Neil?
Yeah, bro. Thanks for all the support, guys out there. Yeah, I'm here.
No.
Neil Erickson did
I'm just
nothing
lagging.
wrong
I'm lagging a lot.
at Federation Square. Neil Erickson is innocent. Victoria Police can suck his balls. Neil Erickson for Australian Prime Minister. Australia for Australians. Vote Fraser Anning. Vote Fraser Anning. Australia Day is January 26. Based 51.
Fucking